Sterling is the bantam. You making me laugh.
Listen.
Sterling is the bantamweight champion of the world. I'm not.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, please remember that.
I'm not crazy about the fight, and it has nothing to do with Sterling. There it is.
I agree with
you. It has
you.
nothing to do with Sterling, and that's
I agree with you.
I just don't like the idea that Dillashaw might actually win this fight and whoop.
You think? Okay, let's talk about it.
I'm not saying. I didn't tell you what we were gonna find out what I think. But I think there's a lot of unknowns in this fight. There's a lot of unknowns in this fight.
Let me tell you what I do know. Jermaine's Aljamain, his key to victory is his ground game.
Right.
I 100% believe that. I believe we saw that in the difference between his first performance with Peter Yan and his second. In his first performance, he decided to stay on his feet with Peter Yan. And we saw how that turned out for him. Even though he did say that he was sick, he was under the weather, it wasn't the he wasn't under the right condition. We have to believe it because we saw what he did in the second performance. That's my personal thing. But it was in the second bout that he leaned on his tool set, his real arsenal, which is his wrestling. Yeah. And he worn down Peter Yan through that route. He also submitted a man in Sandhagen in 1 round through his ground game. An opponent that Dillashaw took 3 rounds to have a banger with and win by decision. Dillashaw's a striker. He punches with dangerous intentions.
And kicks.
With dangerous intentions. But I believe if he goes to the ground, and he would, Sterling is going to make him pay. You don't go to the ground with Sterling without paying for it. Sterling's not a person who brings you to the ground, you get back up. I don't see that happening. And let's not sleep on his striking game either. Even though I said his first performance against Peter Yan isn't up to par compared to his second performance, we got to remember, Yan is a dangerous and a different kind of striker. He's elite. So we can't really just write off Aljamain's striking game just based on that one performance. Right. He had a fight before Peter Yan. He had a fight with a guy named Pedro. And in that fight, he showcased his stand-up game. And to me, that standing game was enough to hold his own against Dillashaw until he decides to bring it to the ground. And this is why I see this fight. I see Sterling taking him to the ground, and I see Sterling taking down Dillashaw to the ground, and I'm gonna say beat him by submission. Submission. He's gonna make him pay for that submission.
Yeah. What round? Fifth?
No, I said first round.
First round?
Okay. First round.
Alright, I respect that. This fight is a toss-up. For me, this fight is a toss-up. I think it's a toss-up because there's a lot of unknowns, and the unknowns come from Dillashaw's side. We got to.
Is Dillashaw still on the juice or not?
Well, not that. How good is he without that? I think his win against Sandhagen was good. That was a fight. He was 2.5 years off. And that was
quick question though, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that make it less of a toss-up for Dillashaw? This is first. If this is still him.
Nah. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
It's still a toss-up because you got to remember, we don't know how good he is per se because of the juice and stuff. But he came back and beat Sandhagen, which is a big win. Sandhagen is top 5. He's been against Yan. He's been against Aljamain, as previously mentioned, and all of that.
But that fight was it as decisive? You think it was a complete? I don't think it was a dominant. He won, but it wasn't dominant.
He won. It don't matter. He won. I mean, to me, it don't matter. He won. Styles make fights. Just because Aljamain beat, didn't Peter Yan go 5 rounds with Sandhagen too? And that same Peter Yan got. I mean,
No. That's right. You're right. But here's the thing. Really mean... And how did Sterling beat both those guys? His ground game, and that's the point I'm trying to make.
I ain't even.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's his ground game.
I hear what you're saying, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Because at the end of the day,
it got a lot to do with it.
You can get Sterling into a firefight. That's been proven. It can happen. So first of all, the thing about Dillashaw, why I say this,
I believe it's Sterling's choice.
The more reason why I'm not leaning, why I say it's a toss up is because I really don't know how good Dillashaw is. The last time I've seen Dillashaw, because we assumed that he was taking juice the whole time based on what happened with Cejudo. We assuming that, but we don't really know. He came back and beat Sandhagen with 2.5 years off. 2.5 years off. Not to mention he was the champion. Like, no matter how we feel about it, he was the champion. And when he beat Cody Garbrandt, that was a real win. He was a champion before that, and the guy that actually beat Dillashaw was Dominic Cruz, a striker.
Does it count? But does it count if he had help in achieving that becoming champ?
What I'm saying,
well, we don't know exactly.
What I'm saying, we don't know, and that's why
you're making me sound like I'm more right.
And you're making me sound like I'm more right. I'm saying it's a big unknown with Dillashaw. I just seen him beat Sandhagen. That after 2.5 years old. That's a big win. That's a validated win. And when I look at the whole thing, and when I look at Dillashaw's style, he is dangerous, bro. He's dangerous with his hands and his feet. The reason why he left Team Alpha Male in the first place before fighting Cody Garbrandt was because he said he had to elevate his game. They fighting this way. I already know how to fight that way. I want to use this, that, and the fifth. And when he fought Garbrandt the second time around and knocked him out, he did it with a leg kick. He did it with feints, faking him out. It was a total different fighter. This is a person that's always looking to elevate his game. So I'm like, when I look at Dillashaw, he's dangerous. You can say what you want to say.
Only on his feet,
Dillashaw
though.
Before, and I see him now. I want to see that same guy.
But only on his feet, he's dangerous.
I've seen Aljamain Sterling get knocked out with a kick. Face plant. Boom. That happened. I don't know if you've seen that. I've seen that. So when I look at Aljamain, he's vulnerable. And
in that fight,
another thing. And another thing. Aljamain gets weary at the end of fights. He gets tired. That's 2 straight fights I've seen him get tired at the end of fights because he gets on you and swarms you early.
He wasn't gassed out against. He wasn't gassed out against that fight.
He lost the last 2 rounds of that fight. He won the last 2 rounds of the fight. The reason why we had to all go back to the first round of the fight because he won rounds 2 and 3 and got roughed up the next 2 rounds.
I don't think he even need to go that deep with
lost the last 2 rounds of that fight. Looked bad in the second half of the first fight. That happened. So if Dillashaw has no takedown defense, cardio, if his takedown defense is good and he's able to last to the second half,
he hasn't shown no way that
I've just seen him win a 5-round fight.
Not through his takedown defense.
I seen him win a 5-round fight.
How did he win it though?
It don't matter.
No, it do matter. How did he win it?
He defended. He was against the strikes. He stood up against a dude that stroked rips. That was a striker. He still okay. All right. So how do you know he can't defend a takedown?
Man, I'm going by what
How do you know that? When did you see him not defend a takedown? When have you seen TJ Dillashaw submit it? Because I haven't seen it.
Who has he fight that was a submission artist?
I don't know. You got to look it up. I know he ain't been submitted.
But who has he fought that was not a submission artist?
I don't know. Again, I'm telling you he hasn't been submitted. So when I look at this fight, this fight is a toss-up to me. I can't really call it. Here's what I do know. Sterling's greatest weakness is his greatest strength is his greatest weakness. I think he's one-dimensional. I think he can strike, but it's been proven that if he's in there with a guy, he's not that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not all out striking. He didn't look good striking against Jan in either fight. First fight included.
Dillashaw has not fought any. Dillashaw has not fought any body with a dangerous ground game as Sterling. I was gonna look through his record. He has not fought any takedown artists, so that's the reason why he never been he never lost by submission. But I digress. But no, my fault. I didn't hear I didn't hear what round and how you think who's gonna win.
It's a difficult fight to call. I think it's gonna go to a decision. I don't know necessarily that TJ has the cardio towards the end of the fight to stop Sterling. I think the first half of the fight is going to be the most important if Dillashaw can survive that. And personally, I would like Sterling to win the fight. It's such a big fight.
You need it anyway. Just say it, man. You know what it is? I think you know what you want to say, but you don't want to say it.
It's not that. It's not. I just honestly don't know. I think it's gonna go to a decision.
Wow.
I can't see Dillashaw getting tapped out. I cannot see that happening. He's too good. I'm gonna go with Dillashaw, bro. I think he got too much tools. He got too much tools in his toolbox.
All right, what round? What round and house? And
decision.
How would he?
It's gonna be a decision. 5-round decision. I'm sorry.
You think he's gonna be dominant?
Tools in his toolbox. It's not gonna be dominant.
No. You think a unanimous decision?
No. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be probably controversial. It's gonna be close.